Hi, I'm Jay Gruenke, founder of the Balanced Runner System, and I am here to scramble my intro. Too much going on this morning, and I made the mistake of glancing down at the newspaper. Again, I am the founder of the Balanced Runner System, and I've been helping runners from beginner to Olympian improve their form and performance since 2003. And I'm here with another stuck-at-home running form tip from my living room to yours, helping you use this time to become a better runner. So we've been talking this week about running faster and how you change your form to run faster instead of keeping your form the same and just trying to run harder, which is a really hard way to do it and it doesn't last. Last 2 days have been related to your forward lean, your head action, your forward lean. They were awesome, frankly, so go back and watch them if you missed them because you need, like, that piece has to be in place for faster running. And hopefully I'm not talking too loud and overwhelming my mic and distorting my sound like I did on Monday. I get excited sometimes. Ooh, Leroy's in the house. Oh, come on. Hello. You want to say hello? I say hi. Whoops. She didn't want to say hi. Down you go into your nest if you want. No, she doesn't. Onward. Your arms. You can use your arms to run faster in a particular way. And this is like not a brand new idea for a lot of runners. Static electricity from the cat. We're going to, when we talk about slow running next week, how to run more slowly for recovery runs or MAF or, just longer races. We'll talk about the arm technique for doing that. But when you want to put on a burst of speed, you want to kick, you're running a short distance. We're talking for distance runners here. When we're not talking about sprinting. Sprinting is a different activity altogether. But for distance runners, when you want to speed up, there's a way that you can change your arm use. It has nothing to do with opening your hands. Go back and look at the hands video from this series for clarification on that. Distance runners have no reason ever to do this with their hands. But you can beat, or some people call it snap. So you can have a more dynamic action like this. And getting this, this works best when it's built on an arm swing that is already working. So your arm swing is not a thing unto itself in your running form. It is a part of the whole body action, which is running. And so what your arms are doing connects through your skeleton and through your connective tissue, through your pelvis and your legs to the ground. That's an effective arm swing. And it helps you shift your weight. It helps you move your legs. It helps you create and capitalize upon ground reaction force. And so the shift that you make when you want to speed up, so, you're running, there should always be a little more oomph on the down than on the up. So I'll make a note to do a video just about that, but there's something else going awry if your arm swing is up. Your arm should be down. So, and you're going to increase that down action, not by necessarily making it bigger, but by giving it more oomph. As a technical term, more pop or snap, like you're hitting a table. And if you will join me right now in hitting a table, you'll be able to feel one reason why that helps speed you up. So I'm sitting at my desk. This is going to make my computer move, but I'm going to sit up tall. I'm going to lean forward. Not slunge, but I'm going to just lean forward. Let me see. And I'm going to move my keyboard out of the way. And I'm going to hit my desk like that. Now, I wouldn't hit it with this part of my hand. That's sore. I mean, honestly, it's going to be a little sore no matter what I do. But this, ow. It's like I'm not hitting it any harder than that. And that hurts my knuckles. And I can't hit it as hard, and I sort of don't even want to because it would really hurt. But this back moves, and in fact, a little bit in anticipation. All right. So that works differently if you round your back than if you keep a straight back and you lean forward. That's enough of that. So you may have felt when you were doing that some muscles in your back activated in order to, so you can watch my shoulders and upper body now. I don't want to do that again. I mean, there's a turning, but you can feel probably right in here that there's action when you do this. It activates your lats on the side that's hitting, right? And when you're alternating it also, when you get into a rhythm with it, talk to a drummer, you start to turn, right? So it elicits your core action. And that's a hallmark of something that really belongs, that's a correct element of your running form, is that it starts to make other correct things happen spontaneously. If that is not happening, then there's something wrong with what you're trying to do. So you can use that as a rule of thumb. This is the most important one. So there's your snap. Now, notice I'm not going like this. Again, see earlier videos for why your hand comes to the midline on kind of a diagonal or even a circular pathway. And in fact, when you're beating in, and I'm going to show you the other, this is 50% of why this speeds you up. But when I show you the other 50%, you'll see that particularly when you do this, the hand actually ends up making more of a circular movement, like chick, 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 like a, you always think of a, train. Anyway, so if you do this, you stand with slightly soft legs and bare feet on a firm floor, and you pay attention, you can even feel a little pop of pressure or energy into the sole of your feet on alternating as you do this. And you feel yourself shift a little bit. That is why this speeds you up. And that activation, when I do that with my right arm, my right latissimus dorsi, the muscle here, activates. That connects actually to the inside of my upper arm. It's like a cape on the side of your back. And that connects through diagonally to the opposite glute. And they tend to fire together on this diagonal line. So when I do this, the leg that I'm on is the opposite leg. And don't worry about overthinking this, because you can't actually get it wrong. It's not possible to run the other way. But when I do this, when this arm goes down and back, I'm on this leg. That is what's happening, right? Because you're twisting. So this action helps put force pop down into the ground through this leg, activates this glute. And although I said earlier that the main function of your glutes is actually not to push off, it's to support your head in mid-stance, basically, and keep you from face planting. You do use them more when you're accelerating or you're running uphill. And so activating them is going to be very productive for you and, in fact, help you speed up. So the other dimension, that's looking at we call it backside mechanics, sure. But that's looking basically at what is happening in the sagittal planes. So you're activating, we can't even break it down into planes. But anyway, it's the muscles in the back of your body and how you're putting force into the ground to push yourself forward by pushing down and backwards, right? So the other way that this kind of popping arm swing works, good, I see questions appearing, and I'm going to circle back to them at the end. Thank you for your questions. That's awesome. All right. So where else do you see this kind of arm action? You see it in salsa dancing, right? Not with the snap. And why? Because it moves the rib cage. Okay. And we tend to get stuck in this framework of all the action of running happens on this sagittal plane and you're trying to push yourself forward like that. But in fact, as I've said many times, you have to shift your weight from leg to leg. Of course, a salsa action is exaggerated relative to running, but the action is the same. And when I'm salsa dancing, or, apologies, my so-so salsa, my runner salsa, the downward movement of this hand also, it not only fires the lats to push backwards, but it also compresses the rib cage this way, contracts the obliques, and pushes your weight over onto this side. And again, in running, at the time that the arm is smartly coming down, your weight is on this leg, and this is the organization of your torso that you want anyway. Again, exaggerating everything a little bit so you can see it. And Leroy's talkative this morning. And Leroy, you're breaking my chain of thought. Right? Your push off, if you hop on one foot, so I've done this before in videos, if you put your hands on your hips and hop on one foot, you will do this. Your pelvis will tip. This side, the foot that you're standing on, that side of the pelvis will push down. And that is how you keep your balance and create force down into the ground that launches you into the air. It's not only by dynamically straightening your legs, it's also, it happens all the way through your skeleton, all the way through your spine, that you actually side bend a little bit. This side gets a little shorter, this side gets a little longer, and that actually moves your head over the standing foot, and it creates a lot of force into the ground. And you want to use that when you're pushing off, when you're running, especially if you're wanting to accelerate. And so this action of the arm snap, so it's a turn and it's a side shift, and it gives you a big pop into the ground. So, and again, this is happening too fast to consciously control. You should just sit down and hit your table a little bit and get that feeling, and then take that feeling out into your running. But notice this, so this lateral shift that the arm movement creates or is interwoven with and makes more dynamic when you snap more. When does it happen? Not in mid stance, all right? And this is something that I've never seen anyone talk about, but if you look at a still photo of any runner at any time in their gait cycle, any runner, every runner, when they're in mid stance, that is they're, all the way on one foot, all the way on one foot, and the other leg is, basically hanging beneath. So it's neither still behind them nor has it come forward yet. It's hanging so that the pelvis is basically square in this plane. Are their arms square? Never. Never. Nobody's arms are square, because the arms, the cycle of the arms isn't in the same groove as the cycle of the legs. So we don't run. We don't run like this. All right? With the arms swinging exactly opposite and in sync with the legs. The arms cycle through a split second later. We run like this. All right? Hard to get it going. I can't get it. Leg, arm, leg, arm, leg, arm, leg, arm. All right? Because you're in mid stance. Right. In mid stance, this arm is going back, this arm is going to go forward. That's what's going to happen after this point. So mid stance, the arm helps you make that next step, right? And when you do that, even if you start from here, if you snap this arm down, it makes you do that. And then you're coming and you're almost, all arms are almost in sync, but they're not. And then you snap this arm and the whole thing activates, all right? So you want to maximize that to speed up when you run. And you don't want to overuse that if you're running 50 miles because you're not going to make it. So I'll show you the more energy saving arm technique next week when we do that. All right, so the questions are piling up here. I'm so excited for questions. I'm going to come in and see. All right, going up, Sam says there's definitely a difference in fast running when trail running, less arm moving and more leg cadence. Agree, why? It may have to do with balance. Yeah, it may have to do with balance. Faster running and trail running. I mean, because then it becomes hard to generalize in trail. Are you running uphill? Are you running downhill? Is it really stony? Are you having to pick your way? Or is it smooth and hard? So I guess I wouldn't make a blanket statement about that, Sam. Except to say that this basic approach will speed you up even in trail running. There's definitely a difference in fast running when trail running. Yeah, let me think more about that. No one's ever posed that question that way. At the moment, yeah, I'm not seeing something I can make a blanket statement about, but let me mull that over. Adelino says, just a question, the movement is pulling back our arms or pulling up? Always, like I said, the snap is always down. It's not up. If the oomph is up on your arm swing as in down, your weight is too far back. That's the basics of that. And so the first thing that you're going to try and fix is not going to be your arm swing. It's going to be your forward lean and your core movement, which is critical for your forward lean. And so then you go back and you look at the forward lean and the core action videos in this series. Sam says, again, I have a pair of WEC pulsar hand weights, and the sound, yeah, the beads. Yeah. Fun fact, Dave Weck and I went to college together and Feldenkrais training program together. Creates awareness of movement. I found it a helpful tool. Yeah, actually, it's on my plan when I go out to run tomorrow. I was just thinking, I have these pulsars. I've never tried them for running. My son and I are going to take them a test drive for running tomorrow. But it seems to me like a smart little tool, like, great feedback, and it will help you feel these things. And maybe I can talk more about it when I actually tried running with them instead of just use them for a little movement break at my desk, which is how I use them. Yeah. But it seems like they would be helpful feedback for this. So Patrick says, I know you're a big fan of Eliud Kipchoge and Mary Keitany. It appears there's more upward drive of the hand toward their collarbones than forward back drive of their elbows. Do you agree? Yeah, well, see, the forward back drive is not so simple because the arm isn't swinging like this. The arm is swinging like this. Now, neither of them, I mean, Keitany, like, her form has shifted a little bit over the years, and I'm not as huge of a fan anymore, honestly. She's come a little more upright, but the snap is still on the down for her. It's just that, this is like some people's running styles, and honestly, it tends to be more the Ethiopians will bring their hands not just to heart height, but all the way up to collarbone height on the upswing. Though obviously neither Keitany nor Kipchoge are Ethiopian, but that's just as a general trend. Anybody can actually run anyway. It's how you've learned and what you've figured out how to make work for you. And there are some advantages to running with even higher hands, but I don't teach it it's not intro material to learn how to do that. Yeah, but neither of them is running like this. They're running like this. And I do think Kaitani has gotten into a little too much extension in her upper thoracic spine, and I think it's slowing her down. But I still don't see that the oomph is up when she swings her arms. But for nobody who's running really fast at a world-class level, are they using their arms like this? They're using their arms like this. So to say, I mean, I suppose the arm, if you ignore the lower arm and you look at just the elbow, it is mostly going forward and back in that case, but it's a little bit of a diagonal as well. You can see here my elbow's closer to my side and here it's a little farther out, and that's necessary because the upper body is turning. So it's just not quite that simple. I think of up and down swing rather than forward and back swing, though the reality is three-dimensional and there aren't any words that really capture it. Huge digression. This is the danger of asking me questions, is like, let me see, Sam says, wow, never looked at the arm cycle milliseconds after leg swing. Yes. Yes, don't keep things in sync. But Sam, see, I know you haven't succeeded in keeping things in sync because running just doesn't really work if you do. So, yeah, helpful to know that. But then you don't want to be trying at 3 times per second, which is a 180 stride rate. So 3 times per second, you're trying to get your arms to oomph a fraction of a second after your legs. Like, you can't think that fast. Like the signal, I don't quite know what the speed is from the motor cortex to the muscles, but I'm not sure it's even quite that fast. What you try to do is you get a feeling of snap, snap, snap in a way that you feel makes you really spring into the ground, and then the timing is taking care of itself. All right, I've gone through all the questions. Thanks for those. Come back tomorrow. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. I'm going to put some sort of resource for you in the description below. So check back here in half an hour or so, or go look for it if you're watching the replay of this live. Is something to help you learn how to do this. I think it's going to be perfecting your foot strike. Doesn't sound like it's about arms at all, but everything's about the whole body pattern. And the whole body pattern in the Perfecting Your Foot Strike lesson is this pattern. So it helps you really feel how to, and it'll give you a framework on which to put this movement. All right. Good, we'll finish there. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit like so that YouTube knows to share it with other runners who need this information. Please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a video. And please check out all the great stuff I have for you on balancedrunner.com. I'll see you tomorrow.